Kim Kardashian, Sylvester Stallone, Kevin Hart accused of massive drought restriction violations. During year 22 of a megadrought, the western United States and Mexico are experiencing the worst drought in 1,200 years. Kim Kardashian, Sylvester Stallone, and Kevin Hart have been accused of massive water restriction violations amid Southern California's unprecedented water shortage. In a report by the Los Angeles Times, these celebrities were among 2,000 Las Virgenes Municipal Water District customers who were issued notices of exceedance, which means they exceeded their monthly water budget no less than 4 times in a year by at least 150%. Kim Kardashian was among the worst offenders, with her Hidden Hills home and adjoining estate exceeding her one-month budget by a whopping 232,000 gallons in June. Her sister Kourtney's property near Calabasas exceeded her budget by 101,000 gallons, which sounds much better until you realize she did it all on 1.86 acres. For comparison, comedian Kevin Hart blew past his water budget by 117,000 gallons on a 26-acre Calabasas property. Hart and the Kardashians did not respond to their notices of exceeding. Actor and director Sylvester Stallone defended his water usage 230,000 excess gallons in June, up from 195,000 in May. In a statement, his attorney Marty Singer wrote that he has more than 500 mature trees on the property, including innumerable fruit trees as well as pine trees. Absent adequate watering, in all likelihood they would die. I guess that's the point. No one wants to see fruit trees die, but Las Virgenes spokesperson Mike McNutt says it can't be avoided. We're asking them not only to minimize their water usage, but also to rethink what's aesthetically pleasing to them and how that will impact their property values. And that is not something that happens overnight. In other words, it doesn't matter how you feel about mature fruit trees, they don't belong in the desert at a time when there isn't enough water to go around. Customers are expected to adhere to the water use reductions and water conservation measures that are in place due to this emergency, the notices of exceedance read. These properties now have to install flow restrictor devices that look like silver dollars with an aperture about 1/16 of an inch wide in the center. Water flow is slowed from 30 gallons per minute to less than 1 gallon per minute, turning showers into dripping faucets and sprinklers into lumps. The situation is not expected to improve. According to Governor Gavin Newsom, forecasts have California losing 10% of its water in the next 20 years due to global climate change. The U.S. is hardly alone in facing this crisis. Currently, China and the Horn of Africa are also dealing with severe droughts, while the UK is facing one of its worst droughts ever. However, there are some reasons to be optimistic. Just days after India passed a bill to conserve energy, President Biden signed the largest climate bill in history. Combined, the two countries are responsible for about 18% of global emissions. The biggest contributor to climate change remains China, which puts out almost 30% of all emissions worldwide.